Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy. No, the air conditioner's not working. It got froze up last Wednesday night. I guess they never got it thawed out, so just have to put up with it, I guess. But thanks for being here. I'd like to ask everybody to silence their cell phones unless they're medical or law enforcement personnel. Reverend Steve Adkins, I'm the pastor of the church. If you are new here, there's cold drinks in the back of the fridge, there's hot drinks on the table. God's joining in, so I guess he liked the desserts on the back table there. The restrooms are down the hall, quick right, quick left. Please help yourself to food or the rest facilities at any time during the service. I'd like to have Judy light the candles to start the service. Please stand for the invocation and then stand for the first stand. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this moment in time here. May we feel the hope and joy that is here for us. May we feel your touch of infinite love, hope, and happiness. May we generate that outwards towards each other and feel it inwardly also. Amen.
In the gold pages, hymn number 10, Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Many dangers, toils, and snares I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. And we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun. We know there's days than to sing God's praise, than when we first begun.
Please be seated. Next portion is a thought for the day from the pastor. This is where I take spiritual knowledge and try and turn it into spiritual wisdom, practicing it in the world around me. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't even know where to start after this one. It has been a pounding, beating, struggling week, without a doubt, in every aspect, everything I did, everywhere I turned. From jobs to relationships to computers to coffee pots, it didn't matter. Whatever I touched wanted to struggle with me and fight with me. So, you know, I guess a lot of little things happen to you, and then one big thing happens, and boy, that's a tough one. When the big thing happens on top of a bunch of little things. Fortunately, I live by myself. I love the house that I live in. I own it, and it's a beautiful old house built in 1901 in the middle of Casadega. Beautiful character. I've worked on it for 10 years on and off, so I have a real connection to it. And that is a big saving grace for me. When I have days like this, I go home and I sit there, and I can just feel the total quiet and silence and the joy. It's almost like the house is talking back to me. Because I'm sure it's seen a lot of people, a lot of things since 1901. I guess what my spiritual discipline has taught me, though, is you're still going to get frustrated as a human being. You're still going to have that initial shock effect when things happen to you. But the spiritual discipline, as I practice it, as I meditate every day, and as I think about it, it's more present. It's like an undercurrent. It's like a platform that keeps me from falling too far. I do fall, but not as far as I used to, and not as deep as I used to, and not for as long as I used to. And that's what my spiritual discipline does. It keeps me from falling too far. And, you know, it's okay to get knocked down as long as you get back up. And don't feel resentful about what's going on. Resentful doesn't help anything. All it does is feed the fear, feed the anger, and you have to stop the anger and the fear right off the bat. You're still going to be frustrated, you're still going to be a little irritated about things, but if you stop the anger and the fear, which is one and the same thing most of the time, then you can not fall that far and feel the spiritual grace within your life and silence your mind and touch back into it. And it just seemed to make everything right, even though it kept happening and kept happening. Even this morning, I got up, feel a little frustrated from everything that had gone on, got lost in the Ocala coming back from Leesburg on a motorcycle. That wasn't too bad, but the GPS kept trying to run me south, and I knew that I needed to go north, without a doubt. So I finally turned the GPS off and just kept heading north every time the road went north, and I finally found a place I knew where I was at. So sometimes you got to just turn everything off and follow your inner guidance and get where you need to get. And you know, there's an old saying from a group that I was in when I was sobering up, and it was, if the world looks dark and stinks, you probably got your head up your you-know-what. Kind of got to look at yourself when these things are going on, because you can only control what you do. You can only control what you think. You can't control the world around you. All you can do is control your attitude about what is going on with you. So focus in on that. Don't focus in on the outside circumstances. And I'm telling you, it just kept on. The hits kept on coming. I got up this morning and I tried to print the announcements, and the computer didn't want to print. I went to make my coffee, and I had left coffee in there from last week because I use a different coffee pot through the week, and there was mold in it.
Oh, no.
And you know, just one thing right after the other. Every time I touched something, it just did not want to cooperate. Every turn, every time. And then I had a big event happen, and I almost took off for Leesburg again on my bike last night at about 9 o'clock, and I said, you know something? This is really a stupid idea. Because when you're mad and you're trying to go somewhere, things just don't work out. First off, I haven't had a drink since I was 35, and that's a good atmosphere to get a drink in. Mad at a big city-sized party like that, and owning a Harley, you can get a lot of trouble real quick. So I started to go, came back home and just sat there. I said, I'm staying in my home, and I'm just going to relax and just take the peace as it's here. Like I said, you just have to keep reconnecting to it, keep doing the right thing, keep doing what you know you should do, and things will eventually turn around. It might take days before stuff stops happening. You know, one of these times you go, is God not liking me or something today? Something happened here that I don't know about, you know? Yeah, I know God likes everybody, but sometimes you just feel like, what am I doing? You know, what's happened? What did I do different, you know? So sometimes you just have to just sit back, take it easy, and just wait for the events to quit happening. Move through it. Stay who you are. Don't be moved off the path that you know you should be on. Don't be moved off the spiritual being. All these events don't give you an excuse not to be the spiritual being you know you should be. It doesn't relieve you of that responsibility. As long as you remember that, draw back to it, then things will work out. Thank you for listening. Next portion of the service is the healing portion. Lorraine, are you healing today? And Judy. The way this works is you take a seat on the healing chairs as they become vacant. You hear the chime during the service, during the meditation. Usually the chairs in the back row will sound like this. You can go back there and sit and wait, and I'll move you forward as the other chairs become vacant. Ashkhen will lead us in the meditation, but we'll start this by reading the prayer for spiritual healing on the back of the hymn. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and past ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God.
Good morning. Good morning. Find a comfortable position to sit so we can start the meditation. Electronics. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Get into comfortable position. Feet straight on the ground. Palms up in your lap. There is a lot going around, so let's just disconnect from all the thoughts that are on your mind. Take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes. And just turn within. Take a few long breaths, and with your exhale, let go of the tension if there is any in your physical body. Let go of the thoughts that are occupying your mind. With your exhale, just breathe it out. Let it go for now. With each inhale and exhale, feel your body relaxing more and more. And your mind becoming more quiet. Connect to the rhythm of your breath. And just follow it. Feel your breath taking you deeper and deeper within yourself to a very peaceful and quiet presence that feels calm, quiet, and soothing. connect with this peaceful presence. While you breathe, repeat to yourself quietly, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. With each inhale and exhale, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. While you breathe, feel peaceful sensations flowing along with your breath, nourishing, nurturing your entire body, your mind, your spirit. Embrace this peaceful state of your consciousness. This is your true being. Regardless of what goes around in your life, maintain these peaceful vibrations, your peaceful breath. Become aware of this peaceful state of your consciousness and be still. Be still within. It is in this stillness that you sense wholeness. It is in this quietness and the silence you feel content. Content with who you are. Focus on this stillness. And not to let anything to interrupt this peaceful mind, the peaceful breath. Your consciousness shifting higher, rising higher to your head and above your head, and connecting with your higher self to the presence of God within, that is surrounded with beautiful golden light. Connect with this mighty presence and just breathe. There are no thoughts, no interruptions. feel your breath. In this heightened state of awareness, as you acknowledge this presence, feel yourself in a high place that is above all and everything. With this heightened awareness and consciousness, you observe your surroundings with heightened understanding, with expanded awareness, and with a higher perspective. In this heightened state of awareness, there are no boundaries, no limitations. Feel your consciousness shifting and expanding to a new perspective, where you feel a total freedom. You feel the courage, the knowledge, and the wisdom to approach your life circumstances with this elevated consciousness. You are able to tap into realities, and with the power to transform these realities for higher, for better. Think of something that you would like to accomplish, a desire, a wish, a dream that you wanted to come true. Think about that subject. What is it? See yourself in that situation. Have a new approach to this problem, whatever it is. With your heightened awareness and higher consciousness, tap into that reality and create. What is it that you would like to see happen? You have the power, you have the knowledge and the ability to change, to transform, to create the new. Let go of the old and the past and focus on the now, the new you. And the knowing that you have a support. universal support. Have faith in yourself. In times of need, ask God to give you the serenity to change what you can. And the knowingness to accept the things that you cannot change. And to give you the wisdom to know the difference. Open yourself up for divine intervention and trust it. Trust that your needs will be met in divine timing. Have faith in yourself. The presence of God is within you. Above you and below you, to your right and left, all around you. Surrender to the will of God and know that mighty power is within you always to guide you, to lead you. Surrender to the will of God. Let thy will be done, God, in the highest place. Let thy will be done. As above in those higher dimensions, and so be here in this physical reality. Surrender to the will of God. And have faith that you are perfect. No matter where you are in your life, you are in a perfect place, exactly where you need to be. Trust your inner wisdom, your inner guidance. And with the knowing that all is well, all is perfect. Feel the calmness of your body and the quietness of your mind. Just sustain this peacefulness wherever you are. Don't let it interfere with who you are. Be still and trust that all is well. All is perfect. And so it is. Feel your breath slowly bringing you back. Become aware physical body. Engage with your physical senses. Come back to the here and now. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Close with an inspirational reading. Ceaseless activity is not God's plan for your life. Time of withdrawal for renewal of strength is always necessary. Wait for the faintest tremor of fear and stop all work and rest before God until you are strong again. Deal in the same way with all tired feelings. Then you will need both rest of body and renewal of spirit force. This does not mean that you who are to do all things and then rely on God's strength. It means that you are to do the things you believe God wants you to do, and only then can you rely on His supply of power. Please stand for the next hymn.
And the white pages, hymn number 7, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. Tell all my friends I'm coming too, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
All right, please have a seat. Next portion of the service is the inspirational lecture. Today we have Pauline from Casadega. She is a certified medium. She was raised Jewish and never fit into the mold of being Jewish. And Pauline's spiritual journey has illuminated her life and the lives of others as she's worked with her spiritual gifts throughout the years. I've known Pauline for quite a while, and I've seen her develop and grow into her own. It's been very nice to watch that journey and be a small part of it. I'm sure you're going to enjoy what she has to say and have a little something told you you may not realize just yet. So please welcome her, Pauline Gold.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. A question. How does body, mind, and spirit fit together? The three are interconnected. It's impossible to separate the mind from the body, or the body from the spirit. It is the basis of our life's meaning and existence. The three work as a system of energy. Everything is composed of energy, biological, chemical, and spiritual. This energy flow can be abundant or restricted, depending on our state of being in each moment. and it changes constantly. That's the amazing part. It changes constantly. I have a friend of mine who just had a baby girl 3 weeks ago, and I enjoy just watching her. Just the little expressions on her face. Babies just seem so mysterious. They're happy, they may be happy one moment, and then all of a sudden fussy and crying the next moment. And the truth of it all, the same holds true for us adults too. Because each of us can be animated and excited with just the moment of thought. Because change just happens in a blink of an eye. How many of you have sat there and was sad one moment and then all of a sudden you heard a joke and you're laughing? Or the other way around. You're happy and laughing and all of a sudden you're just a little sad or you're a little bit down or you're just feeling a little blah and low in energy. A simple example of how this connection works is experienced by all of us when we get cut off in traffic. Your first reaction is to get mad. Perhaps you might even yell, even though the other person who just cut you off can't hear you. Your emotional reactions truly disrupts your personal energy from your mind to your body. Your mental state has gone from this peaceful going day to all of a sudden you're feeling agitated, frustrated, annoyed. And your body tenses up. You start, your breath starts shortening. It affects. Wellness matters because everything we do, every emotion we feel relates to our well-being. And in turn, our well-being directly affects our actions and our emotions. It's an ongoing circle. It's only when we learn to nurture our body, mind, and spirit and keep them in balance can we live more fully. When we talk about finding balance in life, it is often finding balance with work and family, or about balance of a hectic lifestyle or stress management. But I don't think that's the most important area in our life that needs balance. What we truly need is to balance the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual dimensions out of our lives. Our state of being is an overall feeling of our health and wellness, and it refers to how balanced we feel on all levels of our being. Whether we're happy or sad, feeling sick or well, we are either in or out of alignment with who we truly are. It's about nurturing your body, mind, and spirit by making each day count. It is a process that I learn daily. It involves shifting away from that natural inclination of what is going on, what's wrong, to having a positive mindset, focusing on your purpose and intention. Because thoughts are magnetic, and thoughts have energy. Think about this. Take a moment and think about the thoughts that you have and the emotions that are tied with each thought. For me, I know I find myself sometimes feeling stuck in those thought patterns. When you start thinking, expecting the worst possible outcomes, when you sat there and you thought to yourself, I don't think I can make this work, or I doubt that I can really seriously pull this off. I know when it comes to cooking, for instance, my parents were both in the restaurant business. And on my mother's side of the family, they all worked in the restaurant. And on my father's side of the family, they were very much, they were bakers. And so food, I enjoy food, and I love food. However though, when it comes to cooking, I don't have that DNA. Because when I cook, every once in a while, the fire alarm goes off. But I know that when my friends come over, it's not about me cooking. It's about, hey, let's go out to eat. And that's okay. It's okay. I just, I enjoy the food. I enjoy the company, not so much the desire to cook a meal. Because it's your attitude that determines most of what you experience each day. And sometimes it's something that is easy to neglect with ourselves. Because joy is what happens when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things are. One of the most important things that I have learned is generate a state of well-being. Because a positive attitude helps you to cope more easily with the daily affairs of life. Choose to have a positive attitude. Sometimes it's just by laughing or smiling or finding something just good in your day. One of our guiding principles of spiritualism is the interconnection of all things, that includes the mind, the body, spirit, and the environment in which we live. Because each of us is an inseparable part of the infinite field of intelligence. And at this very moment, with every breath we are taking, we are all interconnected. We are one. Because everything we do affects everything we do. Wellness accompanies our state of being. It's a condition of the whole. Wellness is a condition of our body, mind, and spirit. And for me, our spiritual input is a determining factor when we establish our wellness level. We all need the benefit of spiritual reflection as a way of renewing ourselves and re-energizing. And for me, that's meditation or contemplation. It gives us that opportunity to reflect on our inner self, whichever way that you feel comfortable with that. Because it's to listen to that small little voice inside that helps guide us and direct our mental process. And sometimes it can be drowned out with that excessive mind chatter that goes on inside of all of us. But our spiritual and meditation practices are the tools we have available to keep our mind as well as our bodies and our spirit renewed. Because the mind is complicated and a versatile machine. But it can become overwhelmed. And when we practice self-awareness, even during those difficult times, we can see the thoughts for what they are. Thoughts. They don't have control of us. We have control of ourselves. And we can choose what we focus on and pay attention to. It's the connection between body, mind, and spirit. And it's an amazing thing. And we get to tune in and pay attention to that inner voice. I recognize when we live in balance with mind, body, and spirit, life just flows more easily, more naturally. There's this wonderful book that I read called One Word That Will Change Your Life by Dan Brinton, Jimmy Page, and John Gordon. One word is a simple concept to lose that long list of wish lists and promises to change and resolutions and do something about one thing for a year instead of nothing about everything. So instead of creating all those endless goals, the authors believed, just pick one word, pick one thing that you're going to focus on that's going to be the driving force for you to help represent what you most want to accomplish in your life for that year. I thought it was a brilliant idea. Because for me, focusing is what gets us over that overwhelm, that feeling of that stuckness feeling that sometimes we get with life. So I did this past August. My word that I chose was purpose. So I realized I wanted to do more things with intention and be intentional about my life, about my decisions, about my health. And I knew I was going to be busy, traveling, being involved in a variety of different projects, volunteering, and keeping up with 3 different schedules. So by focusing on my purpose of why I do what I do, and that it has meaning, for me, having a sense of purpose means having a clear goal that fits into my wider life story, so that what I do holds meaning and direction. Because what it really boils down to is to be the best you can be with the resources that you have available to you. Because what you have to you heralds your own sort of perfection. Because you are enough with who you are and at this moment, at this time. And yes, we might be tempted to assume that this implies seeing the world through rose-colored glasses, or by ignoring or glossing over the challenging and difficult times and aspects of our life. But for me, it actually means approaching life's challenges with a positive outlook. It doesn't necessarily mean avoiding things, It involves making the most of situations, but sometimes it takes a conscious effort to enjoy the journey. To enjoy the journey. I'm going to leave you with this beautiful proverb. The body heals with play. The mind heals with laughter. And the spirit heals with joy. Enjoy the journey, and I thank you for listening.